Question number 1. For an infinitely long wire with uniform line charge density lambda along the z-axis, the electric field at a point A, B, 0 away from the origin is. So we know that the electric field due to an infinitely long wire is equals to 2k lambda divided by r into r cape, where k is Coulomb constant and its value is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton into meter square by Coulomb square. Lambda is uniform line charge density and r is the position vector, r cape is unit vector. So r cape is equals to r vector divided by magnitude of r, that is equals to a exk plus b ey cape divided by square root of a square plus b square, where ex and ey are the unit vectors in Cartesian coordinate system and the magnitude of position vector is equals to square root of a square plus b square. That implies a vector equals to 2k lambda divided by a square plus b square a exk plus b ey cape. So the option number B is correct. Question number 2. A 1 watt point source at a origin emits light uniformly in all the directions if the units for both the axes are measured in centimeter. Then the pointing vector at the point 110 in watt per centimeter square is. So we know that the pointing vector is defined as energy per unit time per unit area or power per unit area. The pointing vector at point 1, 1, 0 s vector equals to p by a. For that point, position vector equals to exk plus ey cape and the magnitude of position vector is equals to square root of 2. So s vector is equals to p divided by 4 pi r square r cape, because the area is equals to 4 pi r square. By putting these values, s vector is equals to 1 divided by 8 pi square root of 2 into exk plus ey cape, where ex and ey are the unit vectors in Cartesian coordinate system. So option number A is correct. Question number 3. A charged particle in a uniform magnetic field B vector equals to B naught Z cape starts moving from the origin with velocity V vector equals to 3 ex cape plus 2 Ez cape meter per second. The trajectory of the particle and the time t at which it reaches 2 meters above the xy plane are. So it is given that the velocity V vector equals to 3 ex cape plus 2 Ez cape meter per second and the magnetic field B vector equals to B naught Ez cape. The magnetic field is in z direction, so z component of the velocity will no effect in the motion due to b vector. So in xy plane, travel distance is 2 meter and the velocity is 2 meter per second. So time will be distance divided by velocity, that is equals to 1 second. And path will be helical due to two components of the velocity, because one component of the velocity is responsible for the straight path and other one is responsible for the circular path. The combined path is helical. The option number A is. Question number 4. Consider a particle of mass m following a trajectory given by x equals to x naught cos omega 1t and y equals to y naught sin omega 2t, where x naught, y naught, omega 1 and omega 2 are the constants of appropriate dimensions. The force on the particle is. So it is given that x equals to x naught cos omega 1t. The second derivative of x is equals to the acceleration of the particle along to x-axis, that is equals to minus x naught omega 1 square cos omega 1t. And similarly the acceleration of the particle along to y-axis, that is equals to minus y naught omega 2 square sin omega 2t. So the total acceleration of the particle a vector equals to x naught omega 1 square cos omega 1 minus I k plus y naught omega 2 square sin omega 2t minus j k. We know that every central force is a conservative quantity. And if a vector quantity is conservative, then its curl will be 0. So we know that acceleration is a vector quantity, so curl of acceleration is equals to 0. It means force will be central. Option number A is correct. Question number 5. Which one of the following point represents the complex number 1 divided by 1 minus iota? So let the complex number z equals to 1 divided by 1 minus iota. Both side multiply by 1 plus iota. That implies z multiply by 1 plus iota, that is equals to 1 divided by 1 minus iota multiply by 1 plus iota. That implies z equals to 1 plus iota divided by 2. So z equals to 0.5 plus 0.5 iota. So according to option, the real number is represented along to x-axis and the imaginary number is represented along to y-axis. So according to option A is correct.